Hi, my name is Emma Henderson and I'm a senior lecturer in the law school at Latrobe University. I really enjoyed being involved in this project because of the opportunity to work with a diverse group of women from across both the community legal sector and from other schools within the university. We had so many different talents and strengths across the group. It was a really productive and rewarding experience on many levels. One thing I learned that I didn't know prior to this project was the extent to which the family violence intervention order process is so dependent on where and by whom the application is filed. On paper, the process seems standardized and clear, but it became clear during this project that there's a fair bit of chance involved, despite the best intentions of everyone working in the process, with the various parties unaware of what everyone else is doing. That seems to be both inefficient and likely to lead to injustice. So for me, the main takeaway message from the research findings and recommendations is the need for a process map to improve transparency and to create confidence that those who use the system are all rowing in the boat in the same basic direction.
My name's Cleona Furing and I'm the Legal Director of the Family Violence and Family Law Program at Westjustice. What I really enjoyed about being involved in this project was the opportunity to work with Latrobe academics and Fitzroy Legal Service in learning about how the use of and analysis of linguistics can be applied to human experiences in the family violence context. What I didn't know prior to this project was how complex that is and how much of a skill and how technical it is to analyse linguistics in this context. It really opened my eyes to other ways of exploring human experience in family violence context and really understanding women's agency in our system. For me, the main take home for this project is that the bureaucratic processes and systems that have been put into place to keep women safe have in fact in some ways resulted in a paternalistic and gendered culture which reduces the agency of women and in some cases actually exacerbates trauma, which causes further harm as a result of systemic issues. I'm really keen to look at other ways of exploring further research in the future, particularly in the context of police being the first response, and also better understanding how our specialist family violence courts are operating in practice. It's absolutely critical for families to create long-term sustainable outcomes, and having women's voices at the centre of this is foundational.
My name is Shamila. My role at Fitzroy Legal Service is Managing Lawyer, Family Law and Family Violence. What I really enjoyed about being involved in this project was collaborating with Westjustice and Latrobe across various disciplines. There was a lot of collective knowledge to harness and new ways to analyse systems and language that were well and truly outside the bounds of conventional lawyering or legal interpretation. One thing I learned that I didn't know prior to this project was just how important it is to consider the finer details of language and the power of language as it relates to agency and intervention order applications. It's often something I've thought about but didn't have the expertise to assess in the way the linguistics team from Latrobe have done. The report points to how language is used to conceal violence, mitigate offenders' responsibility, conceal victims' resistance and to blame. The placement of responsibility for violence on the AFM or respondent through language and the construction of narratives is something the sector really needs to be aware of and to understand. For me, the main take-home message from the research findings and recommendations is that there is a lack of awareness of the implications and the importance of language, of training and transparency in processes around narratives and the making of intervention order applications. This needs to be demystified to assist writers of narratives, for example, police, registrars, lawyers, or private applicants for intervention orders, so that the agency of affected family members is not diminished. A deeper dive into the process of writing applications and the way in which narratives are reduced or edited by courts or police is really essential, not only to preserve accurate accounts of affected family member experiences, but because these narratives also form the basis of evidence that is relied upon when a decision is made to issue an interim intervention order.
Hi, my name's Tanya Stebbins and I'm a Professor of Linguistics at Latrobe University. What I really enjoyed about being involved in this project was the opportunity to work with such passionate, insightful and committed teams from Westjustice and Fitzroy Legal Service. And I also enjoyed getting to know and learning more from my colleagues in other disciplines at Latrobe. One thing I learned that I didn't know prior to this project was how powerful the accounts are of women who write applications for intervention orders. They made really strong and moving claims about their need for respect and safety, and they worked hard to document their experiences, call the perpetrators to account. It was also clear how there's limited scope for their voices to influence outcomes to their applications because there's such a lack of clarity around the processes and the ways in which information is managed, manipulated and channeled. For me, the main take-home message from the research, the findings and recommendations is that there's a lot of opportunity to improve the way the system for applying for a family violence intervention order works. It could be more transparent and more consistent. And there are also opportunities to improve access for women with limited proficiency in English, who are more likely to have applications written on their behalf by the police, not always with their consent. I'm sure that with appropriate support at key moments, they would also be able to share powerful stories that could support them in moving towards solutions that fit with their family and cultural settings.
Hi, my name is Priyanka, Family Law Family Violence Program Manager at Westjustice. This project has been an amazing teamwork. I thoroughly enjoyed the collaborative work and the quality of the report shows that. Having worked on the ground as an intervention order duty lawyer, I have been observing the patterns and issues identified in the report, and it is exciting that the report has defined the issues and has suggested corrective action.
Hi, my name is Kirsty Duncanson. My role at Latrobe University is Senior Lecturer in Crime, Justice and Legal Studies in the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. What I really enjoyed about being involved in this project was the shared enthusiasm for the work that we were doing and the incredibly supportive environment across a multi-organisational group. Each meeting that we had was just so full of positive energy and support for each other. It was really terrific. One thing I learnt that I didn't know prior to this project was the kind of real lack of formal and consistent structure across the application process and the processing of applications for intervention orders. It was really unclear how the process took place, and there were these kind of black spots where it was unclear what happened between the application and what turned up for the magistrate. For me, the main take-home message from the research findings and recommendations is that women and others navigating the family violence intervention order application process are facing a complex, unclear and inconsistent process, in the face of which they are doing incredible things to assert control and authority over their lives when people are doing their best to undermine their capacity to assert that control.
Hi, my name's Wei. I was the principal lawyer of Fitzroy Legal Services legal practice. What I really enjoyed about being involved in this project was the opportunity to learn from experts from a broad range of disciplines. It was amazing to be able to closely examine something that we deal with on a daily basis, like an intervention order application, and pass it through a number of different lenses. Prior to being involved in this project, I didn't know anything about linguistic analysis. It was really incredible to see the way in which the language can be deconstructed to reveal agency and relationships of power. For me, the main take-home message from the research was that despite all of the investment and the Royal Commission into family violence and all of the changes that have been implemented, there's still so much opacity and inconsistency around the intervention order process, which ultimately has an impact on how applications are heard, what stories are told, and what decisions are being made.
I'm Emma Russell. I'm a senior lecturer in Crime, Justice and Legal Studies at Latrobe University. What I really enjoyed about being involved in this project was learning from the practice experience of Westjustice and Fitzroy Legal Service, who are doing amazing work with people affected by family violence and supporting them to navigate what's clearly quite a complex legal system. I learned that narratives of violence are really crucial to the intervention order application process, and they can vary really significantly according to who wrote them, which can then shape the outcome. For me, the main take-home message from this project is that we need to learn more about the experiences of victim survivors who have police apply for family violence intervention orders on their behalf, but without their consent. I think this raises really significant police accountability issues that require further investigation to ensure victim survivors aren't further harmed and disempowered by legal processes.